Hi, students. This is Notes 4, Part 2 of the Constitution on the Articles, and this set of notes is specifically on the three branches of government. It doesn't look exactly like this, but you will be using pages 10, 11, and 12 of your notes. 10, 11, and 12. All right, so we have seen this slide before, and it says that the Constitution has three main parts: the preamble, the articles, and the amendments. We've already talked about the preamble. Now we're going to talk about the articles. And the articles are what outline the exact jobs for each of the branches of government and how they are going to balance each other. So, on page 10 of your notes, the very first important vocabulary is the articles. The articles they're the main body of the Constitution. It sets up the branches and how the document is ratified and can be changed. Remember that word ratified means approved. So the articles set up the branches, and then it also let us know how the Constitution can be changed. Okay? So there's 7 articles total, but the 3 that we focus on the most is the first 3, which are the 3 branches of government. Okay, Article 1 is on the legislative branch, Article 2, executive branch, and Article 3 is the judicial branch. The rest of them provide other rules on how to structure the government. Okay, so one big thing that we have here is that we have this idea of the separation of powers. And the separation of powers is a principle that they want to uphold that says that each branch of government should not have too much power. And so they divided the government into the 3 separate parts or branches so that the individual and states' rights would always come first and that none of these branches would ever have power over each other. So let's review. You learned this last year in Minnesota Studies, but let's review it here now. There are 3 branches of government. We've got the legislative branch, the executive branch, and the judicial branch. The legislative branch writes the laws, or they make the laws. The executive branch carries them out, and the judicial branch interprets the laws or judges the laws to make sure that they're constitutional, which means it makes sure that the laws that the legislative and executive branch want to put into place, that they're going to protect the rights of the individuals.
Yeah, it's the legislative branch.
Yeah, it's the courts.
It's the executive branch.
Judicial.
I'm the one that passed the laws. So if you want to make something happen, you gotta go through me. Who's calling the shots in the Oval Office? Vocabulary. Let's go. It goes check, check, 2-state balance, not just one. We bring 3 talents, the powers. Gotta keep them separated. That's the motto. We made it. 3 branches of government, that's all. Legislative writes the laws. Executive executes laws so official. The court system is judicial. I'm the legislative branch. I write laws. Without me, it'll be anarchy, of course. Say my name. I'm called Congress, sitting on Capitol Hill. Kid, that's honest. Made up of the Senate and the House of Reps. We write a bill and send it to the president's desk. We legislate. and we roll deep. 535 members in my clique. See, Senate, each state sends 100 senators in all. That's how we do. The House of Representatives is by population. Cali reps the hardest, no debating. If my bill gets a presidential veto, I can override that with enough people. I wrote the budget and I'm passing the laws. Now I'ma grab the mic and pass it off.
Oh, hey, Congress, sometimes I need to mess with the plans. I carry out laws, I'm the executive branch. I'm the president. Roll with the VP and cabinet. I'll veto your laws if I'm not having it. So hail to the commander-in-chief. All the armed forces need to follow me. My power's been blossoming since George Washington stepped into the office and did awesome things. I got a bowling alley in my home where I call in airstrikes from invisible drones. Who appoints the cabinet and judges too? The boss in the Oval Office, that's who.
Check, I'ma keep it short, the judicial system. I'm the courts, my highest court, that's supreme. All 9 justices know what I mean. Nominated by the press, confirmed by the Senate. No term limits, they serve a life sentence. Plead your case, it's not unusual for me to rule a law unconstitutional.
So I write a law,
Well, I might veto it.
and I can override that. You know it.
Man, I'm executive, the one that carries it
It
out.
can get challenged in the courts, that's what I'm all about. I might declare it unconstitutional.
I can impeach judges who act unusual.
I nominate justices in the first
I
place.
can impeach you too if you step out of place. 3 branches of government, that's all. Legislative writes the laws. Executive executes laws so official. The court system is judicial. 3 branches of government, that's all. Legislative writes the laws. Executive executes laws so official. The court system is judicial. It goes check, check. 2 state balance, not just one. We bring 3 talents to powers. Gotta keep them separated. That's the motto. We made it.
Okay, and you may have learned last year, let's make every effort to juggle ice. That's our mnemonic device to remember the 3 branches and what each one of them does. So the legislative branch makes the laws. Executive branch enforces the laws. And the judicial branch interprets the laws. It judges whether they're good or bad. All right, let's talk first about the Article 1, which is on page 10 of your notes. Article 1 is the legislative branch. It's also called Congress, and it holds the power to make laws, declare war, and ratify peace treaties. So if you were going to highlight something there, I would highlight the word Congress, and I would highlight makes laws, can declare war, and peace treaties. There should be a comma after laws and tax. Okay, so they can make the laws for the federal government. They can tax citizens to pay for things needed. They can vote on whether to declare war and peace, and they meet in the Capitol building in Washington, D.C. That picture of the Capitol building that you see in the background there, one side, you see how it's kind of even if you were to split it down the middle? Well, one side of the building is for the House of Representatives, and the other side is for the Senate. The House of Representatives is called the lower house of Congress. It's based on the size of each state's population. And the Senate is 2 senators for every state for equal representation. And we've talked about those before, so those should be kind of review pieces at this point. All right, on the bottom, this is the chart that you need to fill in. So the legislative branch makes the laws. Congress is the House of Representatives and Senate combined. As far as the House of Representatives goes, there are 435 people. Each representative serves for 2 years, and they are elected by their states. You have to be at least 25 years old and have lived and been a citizen in the United States for at least 7 years. As far as the Senate goes, there should be 100 senators, and they serve for 6 years at a time, and they're also elected. You have to be at least 30 years old and have been a citizen for at least 9 years to be a senator. And part of that is because you serve for 6 years instead of 2. Okay, and we have mentioned that there are some checks and balances where there is some power that they have over the judicial and executive branches. So, in order to not let the judicial branch get so powerful, the Senate confirms the judicial appointments. So, when there is an available seat, like there is now, on the Supreme Court, the Senate has to approve. They have to confirm the nominee for that judge. They have power over the executive branch because they can override a president's veto. Okay, so if they pass a law in the House and Senate and it goes to the president's desk and the president vetoes it or says no to it, it can go back into the legislative branch and they can override that. They also have the power to impeach the president. If the president is found to be doing something that is unsavory, against the law, not becoming of a president, the legislative branch has the power to impeach the president. And that could lead to them having to leave office.